profitable greenhouse business in the year 2026. I have a little background in agribusiness management, and currently I work as the sustainability manager for a farm. Okay, so to delve in to delve into our topic for today, I would like us to understand the meaning of sustainability. So sustainability involves we the present managing the scarce resources that we have in such a way that we won't compromise the ability of the future generations to benefit from such resources. That's what sustainability basically entails. And then moving forward, I would like us to ask, why greenhouse farming in Ghana? Why are we thinking of starting greenhouse farming in Ghana? Greenhouse farming in Ghana because there is opportunity in there. Ghana imports over 60% of its tomato, and the national demand for tomato in Ghana is around 1 to 4 million. It's around 1 to 4 million metric tons, according to data from Ghana Agriculture Sector Report. That's the amount of hold on for a moment, please. Let me share my screen. Please, can everyone see my screen? Hello. You can raise your hand if you can see it, please. Hello, Perry. Can you please see the screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. Please, Mr. Emmanuel, can you also see the screen, please? Okay. And moving forward, the other reason, please hold on for a moment, please. Okay. So okay, so sorry for the background noise. It seems my messages are interfering with the meeting. So moving forward, the other reason why we are thinking of greenhouse farming in Ghana is the climate resilience in Ghana here. We are trying to overcome the lean season, that's the dry season where there is less rain that farmers can cultivate crops. We are trying to overcome that, and then we are trying to also overcome seasons where there is erratic rains, and then it also destroys the crops that farmers have cultivated. So the greenhouse has a controlled environment that you can manage your irrigation, you can manage the whole environment, that the whole ecosystem of the greenhouse, you can manipulate it to your liking. So having a greenhouse or planting in a greenhouse, I would say is more profits about 7.5 to 10 tons per hectare. And then greenhouse targets approximately 20 to 30 tons per hectare. Because if you plant in a greenhouse, the number of crops that you are cultivating from the greenhouse is more than the crops that the produce that you'll be getting from planting on an open field. When you plant in a greenhouse, since it's a controlled environment, you are controlling the pests and diseases, and then some practices in the greenhouse also help you to cut down on um, pests and diseases and things that would actually make you lose money from planting. So the next point we are talking about is premium pricing. And talking about premium pricing, greenhouse produce actually cost more than normal open field produce because most people term greenhouse produce as organic produce. And since it has the term organic on it, uh, health conscious people and people who like uh, what is the thing? People who like premium goods prefer such goods over other ones that they see as inferior. So on to the next. What makes greenhouse smart? What makes a greenhouse smart? Greenhouse is smart because it has an automated system, an automated system of irrigation where uh, you irrigate your crops based on how you want to control your systems. If you think there is no need to irrigate your crops at this moment, you leave them dry. And when you think you have to irrigate your crops, you have a system built in place that would irrigate the crops for you. And then there are other temperature controlling equipment in a greenhouse as well that will help you control the environment. So we have the shade net, we have um, we have vents, we have fans that when there is the need to blow cool air into the greenhouse, they can blow the cool air into the greenhouse. And when there is the need to blow warm air into the greenhouse, it will blow the warm air in there. And then greenhouse farming is data driven. Mostly open field planting is not data driven because uh, even if it's data driven, it's not as accurate as how greenhouse is because you can implement IoT, Internet of Things, into to monitor your soil moisture. Uh, in greenhouse, some use soil as their media. Others also use what we call cocoa pit. It's basically coconut husk that has been ground into a form that can be used as planting media in the greenhouse. And then since you are using cocoa pit, you won't need soil in there because the cocoa pit basically serves as your planting media. And when you need to apply fertilizer or anything in there, you pass it through your irrigation. So you can determine the nutrient levels that you are giving to your crops. You can determine your the pH of your planting media. Anything that you need to know in your greenhouse, you can know through incorporating IoT, that's Internet of Things. And then it has a precision level of um operations because it delivers the exact amount of water that you need. As I said earlier, it delivers the exact amount of nutrients that you need, which cuts down your wastage level to up to about 40%. Because let's say you plant in an open field, and then in planting in an open field, when you are applying fertilizer, you apply it to the whole field because you are let's say you are scared this particular crop will grow better than these ones. But in a controlled environment like the greenhouse, where when there is the need for you to prune your plant, you prune it. When there is the need for you to fertigate, that's apply irrigation, you do. And when there is the need for you to apply nutrition to your crops, you do. You are controlling your environment, so everything becomes precise. You have a precise system in place that controls the whole environment. So our next topic to talk about is getting started. What are the essentials that you need to start your greenhouse? Before anything else, you need to select the site that you are going to set up your greenhouse. That's you need a place that's level grounded, that has good sunlight penetration, and also has a reliable water source. Without these things, you can't start your greenhouse farming because even with open field, You need a level ground. You need a place that has good sunlight, and also you need a place that has available water source. Okay, so the next thing is the structure. You need the structure. The types of structure we have a tunnel structure, we have multi-span structure as well. Um, and then also you need to use a UV resistant cover, which is suited for Ghana's tropical uh, climate. You need a UV. You need a UV resistant cover because it will help you with our tropical climate, so that you can capture the necessary amount of sunlight that would enter your greenhouse, and also you can control the amount of sunlight that's coming into your greenhouse. Highly demanded in Ghana. The highly demanded we have cucumber and lettuce also has the cost the cost entry in a greenhouse. How much does it cost to start up a greenhouse? So starting a small scale greenhouse, we have smaller forms of greenhouses. Starting a small scale greenhouse costs about 30,000 to 40,000. And then starting a standard or commercial form of greenhouse uh, is about 120,000 Ghana cedis. And then if you see the image in this presentation as well, this is also an option. If you think starting up a greenhouse with this amount of money is too much, you can get a land, as you see over here. This is actually a phase. It's not yet complete. The image we see over there is not yet complete. So the person has actually, I don't know if you've been to Central region before and seen how they plant uh, pineapples. They do it in this form. They they raise the beds, and then they cover it with a polythene sheet, and then after covering it, they cut the holes that they are going to plant. They cut the holes that they are going to plant the they cut the holes that they are going to plant the crops inside, and then they lay their irrigation systems too in there. I think after this, I'll try to share. I don't know if I have it in there as well. I think I have it, so I'll check for that one as well. So as you see over there, they they basically prepare the soil in such a way that would be suitable for the crops that they want to plant. So with this, you can even get a shade net that you would cover your whole structure so that it would serve as a form of greenhouse, although it's not a greenhouse. Profitability. How is this scalable? How is it profitable? So in order to make your greenhouse profitable for you, you have to optimize the crop. to help you optimize or recover the money, your investment faster. Your energy outputs. So the energy that you are using in there, it can actually cost more than you think, because using an irrigation system comes with um, some costs. Even if you a river near your place that you are going to use a pump to draw the water into a poly tank and use for your greenhouse, you are still going to incur losses with, what do you call it, with fuel. And if you decide to dig a well and then use a pump, it also comes with the are going to manage it. If you are going to add solar powered energy systems that would enable you to optimize or capitalize on the energy that you are going to use over there. So post harvest management, it you need to store the crops, because if you don't store your crops in a cold room, in a temperature controlled environment, you are going to lose your crops just like open field farmers lose their crops. So you need to get a cold storage that would keep your harvest in a state that would last longer for you. Okay. So what are the common pitfalls, and then how do you avoid them? What are the common pitfalls that, if you decide to invest in greenhouse farming, can bring you down, and how do you avoid them? Pest management and pest management in the greenhouse. So as you can see, a closer look of the of the crop in the greenhouse. This is actually cucumber. To avoid pest from interfering in your setup, to avoid pests from interfering in your setup, you have to start the whole process of pest management at the very early stages of your greenhouse, because your your crop that you've decided to plant starts to develop in the nursery stage. Let's take tomatoes for example. As tomato starts to uh, develop in the nursery stage, we have let me start from the top with tomatoes. So there are two types of varieties. We have a determinate and indeterminate variety of tomatoes. So the determinate variety of tomatoes are the ones that are planted in open fields, because as it grows to a certain level, it realizes that the level of growth that it has attained is enough. So it should start to flower. But the indeterminate ones in the greenhouse, they continuously develop vegetative parts. So as you are planting such ones, we need to continuously prune new leaves that are new flowering systems that are trying to develop, so that you reduce the competition in there And since you are pruning those ones too, it helps you uh, lower the risk of pests or diseases that would automatically set in. And then the major pests in the greenhouse is whitefly and thrips. The thrips is THRIPS, thrips, and then whitefly. They are the major pests that disturb in the greenhouse. And as you start your greenhouse too, you must apply fungicide. You need technical knowledge. You can't just start greenhouse without knowing how to manage the whole system. So you need technical knowledge on how to start your greenhouse or how to operate a greenhouse. And then you can opt to have training through a university course that would equip you with the training and have give you a practical knowledge on it. Or you can link through AgriLink Experts Network. AgriLink actually has an expert network that knows how to go about the whole setup of greenhouse. So the ones who brought about this whole webinar, they have they have sorry, give me a moment, please. So AgriLink has a whole network that is connected to others that can help you set up your greenhouse, and also that can give you expertise knowledge on how to manage your whole greenhouse setup. Okay, so the next point is market first. You can't just start a business because you know that the business is profitable. No, you should go in with the mindset of a businessman since you want to do the business. So you should first seek out buyers. You should firstly secure your buyers, people who would demand your product before you start the whole system. Okay, so what edge does the AgriLink have? How can they help you? AgriLink has a verified financing, so they connect you to structured funding from investors and partners that they have, investors and partners that they are linked with. They have an AI powered oversight. The proprietary AI doesn't just give advice, it provides investors with 24 hours transparency and data driven performance reports. So, since uh, let's take greenhouse farming, for example, since uh, AgriLink is a business that basically uses AI and human knowledge to help farmers. They won't just go with data that the farmer has is saying otherwise. Let's say the farmer says he's making 70% in his crops, like his crop yield is 70%, but then data states otherwise that he's making maybe 60% from crop yields. That's the income that he's making from his crops. AgriLink, since is a trusted platform, wouldn't just let the farmer give such data. They would actually back the data with information that they have. They won't give you information that is wrong. So the next point is human in the loop support. AgriLink doesn't help only investors, it also helps farmers. So their dedicated agents provide a network provide a network of grounds oversight and expert training. They train their agents in such a way that they can provide oversight on the farm. That means they don't just leave the farmers to their own devices and then come and report that the farmers report that we are making we are doing well or we are not doing well. They also have agents who visit the farmers on the field, and then they ensure that the farmers are meeting the commercial standards. So the farmer can't just bring out any product. If the farmer is producing crops in a way that doesn't meet standards, they won't certify such crops. They actually certify farmers that they have done their diligence in, and then they believe these farmers are trusted. So thank you. Do you have any questions or do you have any questions for me, please? Hello. Hello. Yes, please. Congo, I can see you raised your hand, please. Please, can everyone hear me? Please, I'm listening for questions. If there are any questions, you can ask.
All right.
Okay, so in the
Simon,
absence of
I have one question to ask.
okay,
All
please.
right. So I think you just performed some awesome presentation, and it was just quite brief and practical. Particularly, my question is more regardless to the smallholder farmers. So when you were presenting, you made mention of um you try to ponder on more of the challenges that some farmers maybe might face, especially when it comes to maybe trying to get access to water using maybe pumps, whatsoever it is. But the question is, how can these smallholder farmers also integrate um this smart greenhouse farming without maybe requiring high initial capital? Okay. And aside that too, I think that question has been answered already during your presentation. And also, what crops, specifically looking at this climate conditions, okay, what crops can perform bestly in greenhouse systems?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your question. So, initially, I mentioned four crops that do well in the greenhouse system. We have tomatoes, pepper, and I mentioned three types of peppers. The bell pepper. We have one that's in yellow, yellow colored, one that's green colored, and we have two that are red colored. I think we've seen all these type of bell peppers on the market, and then we have the veggies like what do you call it, cabbage, and then lettuce. Thank you. And then for the irrigation part, can you come over again? Can you come again with the question?
All right, so I made it clear that I was just curious on that, but I think during your presentation you answered that, so I think I'm fine. Someone to I think have a question to ask. Perry.
Okay. I wanted to share the screen on how the farmers can. I think I remember the question you asked. How farmers can integrate greenhouse into their system in a simple way. So this is, you see, there is a pump. There is, what do you call it? A tank over there that has a connected irrigation system. I don't know if you see a main pipe around here. I don't know if my cursor is showing on your screens. There's a pipe system over here that's connected to the beds. And then they've punctured holes in the beds as well. So basically, what they are trying to do is they are trying to reduce the number of pests or number of the number of microorganisms that can interfere in this system. So if they are to apply it with maybe a knapsack sprayer, ones that can be applied directly through the water system will be applied. Ones that must be applied through the fertilizer system to the fatigue, what do you call it? The knapsack, using knapsack too can be used in this form. I have another picture of crops that are grown open field using this system. Uh, Let me show that one too. Okay, so there is also another crop that's grown in that form. It's actually garden eggs that was grown in that form. And if I share the screen, you see how it looks like. So for this one, you can't see the irrigation system and everything because the crops are in there. But I hope you've seen how the setup looks like in this form. Yeah. So thank you. So Perry, can I hear your question as well?
Okay, my question is it only fruits, like tree plants that bear fruits above, like on the, okay, let me put it like this. Is it only vegetables that are planted in the greenhouse or that form of fruit or plant are also planted there.
Okay, so in the presentation, I said something about herbs can also be grown in the greenhouse, but crops that are, I think I get your question. Crops that grow like tuber crops cannot be grown in the greenhouse. So something like carrots, depending on how your media looks like, depending on how the media looks like, if the media has a depth that can accommodate the crop, there is no problem with it. Because looking at, let me share another image too. So um, looking at, let me share it before I continue. Looking at looking at how looking at how the media, the planting media of the greenhouse looks like, we cannot testify that you can't grow a carrot in this form of media unless there's one point that I didn't talk of. Crops that are grown in the greenhouse are guided, like cucumber, for instance, is guided to grow in a way. It is guided. Uh, Let me share it first. Um, it is guided in a way like this one. Uh, Please, can we all see the what I'm sharing on the screen? So it is guided in a way that will go upwards because it's a creeping plant. You have to guide it so that it's it creeps out upwards, and then it grows in such a way that you can harvest your crops on them. So even for tomatoes, you would have to guide it so that it would follow such patterns as well. Okay. So is there any other questions, please?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay,
I have
I'm
a question.
listening, please.
Mhm.
Okay.
In your presentation, you mentioned that there are some types of medias you can use in the greenhouse. You mentioned cocoa peat, and my question is, can you combine two medias, let's say soil, the normal soil that we know, and cocoa peat together to plant as your media in the greenhouse?
Please, I didn't hear you. Can you come again, please?
Okay, I'm saying that during your presentation, you mentioned that there are different types of media. We have the cocoa peats, we have perlite, we have the perlite, and the normal soil that we know. And my question is, can you combine two medias? Let's say combine name cocoa peat and the normal soil that you know as your media, or let me put it like this: combining soilless media and soil to it. So the soilless media will be the perlite, the cocoa peat, and the vermiculite and those things. And the soil, the normal soil that you know, can you combine a soilless media and a soil media together and plant it and use it in your greenhouse?
The answer is yes. But then before you can use your your soil in the greenhouse, it has to be treated before you use it. You can have a section that you would be using the cocoa peat, and then you would have a section that you would be using maybe the soil itself. But you would have to treat the soil. We have steps that you'd have to go through to treat that specific soil before you can use it in your greenhouse, please. Are there any other questions also, please? Please, then
So,
if that
hello,
okay, okay, I'm listening,
hello.
please.
Yeah, since you said that you have to treat your soil media,
I am okay.
since maybe you are taking it from an open field and it will not be advisable for you to plant. Maybe it might have the seeds of weeds and other parasite that might harm your crops. So if
Yes,
you want
please.
to treat the soil, what is the process that one must go through before the soil become perfect and free of uh, weed seeds and other things that might have harm your soil?
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your question. I'm coming, please. Okay, so the process of treating the soil, first, you'd have to, I don't know how to say this one, but you'd have to sterilize the soil. By sterilizing the soil, you basically, let's say, have you have fire that you would pass the media through your soil through. That's like you are baking the soil to kill any seeds or weed seeds that are in there. You also kill any microorganisms that you wouldn't need uh, in your what do you call it, in your greenhouse. Yeah, you would kill them all through that form, and then in doing that, you also kill some microorganisms that would have actually helped your soil to grow crops. So in order to amend what the damage you caused, you'd have to mix compost with that soil. So you prepare a compost and then you mix it with the soil. And after mixing that compost with the soil, you aerate it. You leave it for um, moisture to sorry, you leave it aerated so that you can amend what the damage that you've caused the soil. So you leave it aerated for some time before you can use it in the greenhouse. Has that one been answered, please?
Yeah, it has been answered.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Uh, let's say um, let's say you've set up your greenhouse and it's in operation, and you've seen that you go inside and you come out, you go inside and you come out. So maybe one day you open the door and flies started coming, flies that may harm your crops, that are pest to your crops, and you saw that your crops had been infected, and you saw the flies in there. Is it advisable that you can use uh, pesticides there or insecticides there?
Okay. So um, you can use insecticides in the greenhouse. As I said in the presentation, we use fungicide and also we use insecticide in the greenhouse. Um, some common ones that I can mention for fungicide, we have sulfastar, we have Benko, we have Previcure Energy, and also for insecticide too, we have Runforce, we have Amastar, we have Colam, we have Attack, we have Fruit Master. So depending on the pest that or the disease, maybe the fly itself may not cause harm to your crops, but then it carries a disease that may cause harm to your crops. So if it's disease related, you apply your fungicide, and then if it is the insect related, you apply your insecticide. And if your question is leading to maybe after the crop uh, has been sprayed, or after the fungicide or insecticide has been sprayed, is there a withdrawal period for such products? Some of the insecticides or fungicides have a withdrawal period. Some also have no effect on the crops, so there would be no need for withdrawal periods for that one as well. So thank you. Are there any other questions, please?
Yes. This is my last question. Um, the little research that I did previously, I got to know
Okay.
that plants or vegetables that are planted in greenhouse are mostly come as organic.
Mostly,
Come as organic. They are very organic.
yes.
No synthetic fertilizers there. So
Yes, please.
my question is, since maybe you found that your crops has been infected and you applied insecticide on it, would you term that particular batch of crop as organic or
Okay. Okay. I understand your question. So, uh, we have we have some insecticides or some fertilizers. Even as I spoke earlier, I said we use fertilizers in there as well. So we have some insecticides or fertilizers that are organic. Uh, I have some on the farm. I can actually take pictures of those ones later to send to the group if it is needed. But we have some insecticides and some fertilizers that are organic that can be used in the greenhouse. And then also uh, everything that is termed as organic is not purely organic. I won't say not every. I won't say everything, but let's say most crops are not purely organic. There is a level of synthesized goods in the something that's synthesized in there, but uh, the level of the synthesized something should not exceed the organic level of the crop. So if it doesn't exceed the organic level of the crop and then it passes the organic test, then it can be termed as organic. And then if it doesn't, or if it goes above the synthesized level, then it's no more organic, please. Is that question two answered, please? Are there any other questions? And then, in the absence of any other questions, I'll hand over to Congo to ex- uh, pleasantries with us all so that we can end the meeting. Hello.
All right, awesome. Can you all hear me?
yeah, you can hear you.
Awesome. Okay. So as we all come to the end of this meeting, I just want to show appreciation to everyone that took time to join and participate in this particular session. Purposely, I think your interest and engagement have even shown how important greenhouse innovation and smart agriculture is to the future of farming. And also thanking Simon Justin for the awesome presentation for today. And I hope for the subsequent ones, I hope to see you on this meeting. Thank you all once again for joining and for being part of this webinar. And on behalf of the AgriLink team, on behalf of our partners, on behalf of our stakeholders, we actually wish you guys a wonderful evening ahead and also continue to scale your agricultural journey. Before I say goodbye, I will share our community link in the comment section for you to join, where we discuss on topic, we interact each other, and also we stay updated on relevant agricultural information. Thank you once again for joining, and I'm looking forward to see you once again in the upcoming ones. Bye bye.